Welcome to Slow Home Studio. Too many people live in badly designed houses, and we want to change that.
It's Thursday, June the 16th, and we're going to be finishing off our review of the floor plans for our Laneway House Project. We're going to be looking at the last set of work from the students at the Art Institute of New York, William Gates's class. We very much appreciate
Yeah, we really appreciate everybody contributing plans, and it's made that our design project has gone a little bit longer than normal, but we've had almost 100 comments on the site, so this has been one of our most popular design projects to date, and we reviewed half the class on Tuesday, and today we're going to review the other half of the class.
And we're going to start not with a student from the Art Institute, but actually Katherines Plan, a long-time viewer, and she submitted her second plan for this scheme a couple of days ago.
Yeah, and she got some feedback from us, and one thing that she did is she added this tall wall on the outside of the building, and then that actually makes the possibility of a spatial reading that way through the glass.
Even though that's outside.
This is outside, so the line of enclosure is here, so it's not bigger than the 600 square feet, but what's really cool is visually you're going to make that space is going to feel a lot bigger.
There's some case study houses that did that in Los Angeles. I thought that was very, very nice. I like the bathroom. I think it's got a nice relationship to the bedroom. I think the circulation works. My concern is with the kitchen, and I think that we've still got a problem because of that refrigerator. And let's think about the way that door opens. So it opens this way. That's a very awkward thing to do. You've got it opening up. You've got the counter right there. It opens into there. It doesn't feel right. Also doesn't feel right to do it the other way. That would be the natural way to open it, but then you've got the counter right there. You're going to bang the handle on it. Basically, you shouldn't put the refrigerator there.
No, I think that in this design of the kitchen, I think it's okay to do an L-shaped kitchen this way. I think the fridge has to go here, there, and this has to be returned to pantry storage. So I wouldn't have that little bit of pantry there, and then I would shift the appliances down. That's really the best way to make that function.
So here we've got Ruperts' scheme from New York, and I like a lot of the pieces of this. I think that and I very much like this bit of millwork and the bathroom. I think that's great. I'm going to suggest an alternate kitchen layout where we put a simple counter along the back, and then we have an island that comes out here. I think we could then cut this wall back a little bit and try and get the living room in this space and the dining room over there. I think that would be a little bit better proportion of space.
Yeah, I think the problem with the scheme is that I think that with having the dining room taking up that much space, that's the square footage of a dining room of a 2,000 square foot house. And this is 600 square feet, so you have to be really careful of your proportion. I love the idea of doing the kitchen with the island. I think this is one of the few plans where an island, a full-size island kitchen would work.
Yeah, then I would just, and I really appreciate the fact that he added that wall so that there was a bit of separation to the bathroom door. I would just turn the door and have it there into this, and then get rid of that. Maybe think about this as a screen, some kind of freestanding.
Yeah, not have a bedroom and enclosed bedroom at all.
All open.
Yeah. So this is Paulina's scheme, and Paulina is one of the few people that has done a standard bathroom layout. And the standard bathroom layout actually is the best thing to do because it maximizes the efficiency in this space. The only thing that I would say as a criticism would be the amount of space devoted to the hallway, because in 600 square feet or slightly less than that, that's a lot of square footage to put in for the hallway.
Yeah, and actually it's a little too deep. It really only needs to be that deep. It needs to be 5 feet right there. And so she's got a little bit more on that side, and just that extra bit would give us a bit more room in the kitchen, because that kitchen is a bit small.
Yeah, the other thing we have to point out is the mechanical space is
right.
outside of our building line, so
a bit of a cheat.
So Brenton has a scheme with the washer dryer in the entry space, which is a nice thing to do. However, I would recommend going to a stacker washer and dryer, because having a side-by-side in a small space, you don't really have the luxury of doing that.
You know what? I agree with you, but I would actually have it accessed that way. I don't think it's a good idea, and we talk about this in our book, that you don't really want to have the laundry right against
into the path of
circulation like that, because you're going to put a laundry basket there, and you're going to be forever tripping over it every time you go in.
And then I think the other thing to note here is the bedroom is too large, I think, for 500 out of proportion for a 580 square foot house, because if you look at the proportion of the living, dining, kitchen, it's probably about the same square footage as the bedroom.
Yeah.
And then the bathroom needs to be, like you said, 5 feet. And I don't think we have 5 feet in width here because we have an outswing door, which is an indicator that we don't have that proper
That's right, and you really need 5 feet to get a toilet and enough room to get by it and to sit down and do all of that sort of stuff. So you really need to have 5 feet as a minimum dimension. Now we're looking at Slava's scheme, and I think that it's actually quite nice. She's also got a standard bathroom. could be probably a little bit narrower. My suggestion would be to actually flip it and have it over here, and then put the washer dryer there, so that then you could have doors off of that, so that they were more adjacent to each
Yeah, that's
other.
like what Catherine Cheney had, and that vestibule condition is really efficient and also controls the privacy. Slava also has the little cheat with the mechanical room on the outside. I think the kitchen here is proportioned appropriately. I think, though, it would have been nice to have a little bit more separation from the front door and try to create an entry condition that was a little bit more private.
And then finally, we've got Silvana, who actually gave us a rendered plan, the only fully rendered plan that we've received so far, so thank you very much for that.
And Silvana has an outdoor space within
That's right.
the 600 square
so
foot.
So just to make things even more difficult, Silvana decided to make it smaller, which I think is an interesting choice, and certainly challenging.
Yeah, and I think there's a couple things with small space design that we have to look at. One is the laundry room. In this scheme, we have actually a laundry room with floor space, and I don't think you have the luxury of doing that. I think you have to have a laundry closet. Also, the bathroom layout, the toilet is not in an ideal location. It would be better if the toilet was here next to the shower and the sink was mounted to the wall next to the door.
Just looking at this, my sense is that if I'm having some technical problems here. My sense is that if we could just do that across there and have an island like that, that would help. We could do an under-counter washer-dryer, combination washer-dryer, do something like that. We could have
and then the entry closet.
The entry closet like that. That would give just a little bit more room to this part of the space, and I think that would help tremendously.
Yeah, another scheme where the island kitchen works.
Yeah. Well, that's it for the Laneway House. We're going to retire this project, and tomorrow we will have something new.
See you tomorrow. If you're interested in learning more about the principles of slow home design, you can pick up a copy of our book entitled What's Wrong with This House? It's a practical guide to finding a well-designed and sustainable home. It's available for sale on the Slow Home Studio website. It's also available for sale at Amazon.com in both paperback and the Kindle format.